and welcome to Showtime, your weekly plug for all things glitz, gist, and glamour. I'm Chimmeli, and we're diving into the hottest entertainment updates from Nigeria and beyond. We begin here at home with some heartwarming news from comedian and actress Real Warri Pikin, also called Anita Aswora. Last Sunday, Anita melted hearts with a beautiful Father's Day shoot dedicated to her husband, Ikechukwu. But that wasn't all. The big surprise, she revealed that they are expecting baby number 4. Meanwhile, she followed it up a while later with another video, this time from the gym, proudly flaunting her bare baby bump as she worked out. Congratulations are in order. Still on Father's Day, Afrobeat superstar Davido is reportedly gearing up for what fans are calling the most anticipated celebrity wedding of the year, as he prepares to officially wed his partner Chioma Roland this August in Lagos. The couple, who recently welcomed a set of twins after tragically losing their first son in 2022, were seen celebrating Father's Day together over the weekend. A video from their outing, which has since gone viral, captured the pair in a tender moment as Chioma wished the singer a happy Father's Day. In the video, Davido responded emotionally saying, "I love all my kids. They make me feel so special. I can do anything for them." To which Chioma replied, "We love you too," and promised him 2 more children. The brief exchange has sparked widespread excitement among fans, not only for the couple's deep bond, but also for the hint at growing their family even further. Adding to the buzz, Davido shared a video of Chioma on his Instagram story with the caption, "Can August come already?" A post many interpret as direct reference to their upcoming white wedding. The couple, who had a lavish traditional wedding in 2024, appeared to be in a much stronger and happier place, with supporters across social media expressing excitement and affection ahead of the long-awaited ceremony. Meanwhile, veteran actor Patrick Doyle is sparking fresh debate with his recent comments about his ex-wife, Ireti Doyle. During an interview on Duke Rant, Patrick questioned why Ireti reverted to using the name Doyle post-divorce, subtly implying it might be tied to his long-standing fame. He added that she can never define him, as his body of work is too solid. However, Patrick was quick to clarify that he holds no grudge, calling Ireti a first-class mother. The two, who share 5 children and divorced in 2023, even starred together in a thriller the same year. Talk about keeping it professional. Now on to spiritual talk. Actress and evangelist Eucharia Anunobi is stirring up conversations online with her latest video message. In the clip, she boldly declared that saying amen to prayers without a transformed life is, in her words, spiritual armed robbery. According to her, anyone living in immorality, whether as a fraudster, adulterer, gossip, or corrupt politician, yet praying without repentance, is robbing the kingdom. Whether you agree or not, one thing is for sure, Auntie Eucharia does not hold back. On the other hand, things are far from peaceful in the world of football and influencers. Spanish influencer Fati Vasquez, 30, has spoken out after receiving death threats linked to her rumored relationship with 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, Barcelona's teenage star. Eagle-eyed fans noticed both Fati and Yamal sharing vacation pictures from very similar sports, from luxury boats to poolside snaps. But while social media buzzed with rumors, Yamal has firmly denied any romantic involvement. In fact, Spanish journalist Javi de Hoyos insists that the footballer wasn't even vacationing alone, but with some Barca teammates. Interestingly, the Hoyos hinted that Fati might be closer to someone else in the team. Despite the backlash, Fati took to Instagram to address the hate. "To those who wish me harm, I wish healing." Moving on, Derek Dixon, known for his role as Dale in Tyler Perry's The Oval, has filed a $260 million lawsuit against the mogul himself, accusing him of sexual harassment and assault. According to Derek, things began in 2019 after meeting Tyler at an event. What followed were alleged inappropriate messages, career manipulation, and uninvited physical contact. claims Tyler Perry's legal teams has dismissed as fabricated. But that's not all. Screenshots of allegedly explicit messages have now surfaced, and the court documents detail deeply disturbing accounts from groping to emotional coercion. While the court proceedings unfold, this story is already shaking the industry and sparking difficult conversations around power dynamics in Hollywood. Still on foreign stars, Justin Bieber is trending again, but this time not for his music. The 30-year-old pop icon opened up on Instagram about his mental health struggles. In a brutally honest post, Bieber confessed, "I know I'm broken and I know I have anger issues." He shared how constantly trying to heal and live up to other standards has left him drained. But in the end, he found solace in faith, saying, "Jesus is the only person who keeps me wanting to make my life about others." That's your roundup of celebrity talk and global headlines. Coming up next on Showtime on Trust TV, we've got an exclusive sit down you don't want to miss. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Showtime on Trust TV. This is the interview segment of the show. Today, I am speaking with a Nigerian writer, actor, and producer whose work spans film, TV, and impact storytelling. From Morning After to Weather for Two, DNA to Kumbo, and of course her latest short films, Who's Coming for You and Loose Cannon. She has built a body of work that is as intentional as it is versatile. We're talking about the indie filmmaking, storytelling with impact, and how she navigates the Nigerian film space while staying grounded in authenticity. Please help me welcome the delightful and beautiful Nkeoma Umudu. Hello, hi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
so
you so
amazing
much.
to have you here.
Thank you.
You've done so many beautiful works that I'm a fan of.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, so we're just going to go into it because we don't have a lot of time. Maybe other questions that I have, we can talk about that privately.
Okay.
But so my first question for you is that you wear many hats. Even from the introduction, I'm sure people will be like, all that for one person.
Oh.
So, so you're a writer, you're an actor, you're a producer.
Yes.
I want to know, like, how did you get into your journey in filmmaking? Which one called you first? Was it the producing? Was it the acting? Was it the writing? How did you get in?
Okay, before I answer that, can I just say that this is my first ever TV appearance as a guest. So I'm so honored to be here. I can't keep that to myself. I just can't keep that to myself. I mean, I've been on TV shows, but behind the scenes, I was a Nancy Simish, I was a writer, and I was also an associate producer. So I was behind. But this is me being here, being the guest. I
love it.
I feel so honored. So thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome.
Now, to your question, it was acting actually.
Oh.
I mean, I've always wanted to act right from when I was a child. In fact, the very film that made me say I'm going to be an actor is Confidence. It was a film, I don't know who wrote it now, but the lead actors were Genevieve Nnaji, Chidi Hesie, and Nkeoma Umudu, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds very familiar.
Yes, so in that film, the elder sister Hilda Dokubo.
Okay.
She was the eldest. Yeah. And then Chiwe Talago. She couldn't get married early because somebody did her. So all her sisters were not getting married before her. So it was just Genevieve that said she was never going to get married until her elder sister got married because she saw that everybody was persecuting her. Yeah. So I loved that film. In fact, I can still remember the soundtrack. So that was the film that did it for me. I said, you know what, I want to be an actress, and I started watching lots and lots of Genevieve's film, from Sharon Stone to Mine Forever, so it was acting first. But as I started growing in the industry, I realized that acting is that part of filmmaking that is oversaturated. You have a lot of people that want to be actors. So I said to myself, okay, since there are other things I can do in filmmaking aside acting, maybe I could start with that. Because the thing about acting is someone has to hire you on the project. It was the COVID-19 that actually made monologue very, very popular. People can now record monologues and put out. But prior to that, nobody saw that as a way of selling yourself. So at that time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do other things, which is writing. So I started writing. And then from writing, I started producing. So now I'm always, so it's now as if every project I'm acting, I have to write and I have to produce. So it's always like that. So some of the projects I wrote, produced, and acted were my personal projects. But every other projects I've been doing, I'm also either producing and acting, or I'm writing and acting.
You're always doing more than one thing.
Yeah, so I guess it chose me.
Yes, obviously. But then I want to ask a question. You said, you know, at the time that you felt like Nollywood called you, the acting, and then how you now got into writing. Did you like get any, let's say, formal training for the acting? Did you like go to any acting school or anything, or you just knew that, you know, by watching films and by following that process, that was how you got in?
I didn't go for any training, any formal training, but I know when I was growing up, I also was in the drama, the church drama. So there was this drama thing we had one time, like a course for like 2-3 weeks or 1 month that I was part of. In fact, I was the only child actor it was like a drama troupe that would go to states to perform. I was the only child actor in the drama group. So apart from that, I've not really had any formal training as far as acting is concerned. Everything I do, I'm self-taught. Yes.
I love it. That's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about you as a writer now. How do you approach your character building in short form? Is it the message first, or is it the character first, you know, when writing a story, especially the type of stories that you write?
Okay, so I tell character driven stories. Even though sometimes it might look like it's more dialogue driven. So sometimes I'm caught in between which to follow. But one of the things I do is I try to build my story around the character. Then I provide an emotional connection for that character with the story, so that throughout the entire journey, the person feels like part of that story. So that's one of the ways I build my character. So I just build a particular character and I create a world that revolves around this character. And then this world also helps this character on that journey till it gets to the end. So that's basically my style of writing. Even though there are a lot of factors that could change that, because in Who's Coming For You, no, you know how to say writers, they write what we call the fantasy draft. You write it, and then when you take it to a producer and they do their breakdown, they tell you, oh, this is not feasible, this is not feasible. They have to start tweaking a lot of things. I did that a lot with my story, Who's Coming For You. You know, when I shared it with the director, the first thing he asked me is, where are we going to get a real life baby? So funny. And I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, that is what I thought about. So
we're going to make it work. I said, good. Thank God you're the producer. So please make it work. So at the end of the day, we tried to make it work, but we realized that making it work was not going to work for us. So we had to now. So spoilers, we had to literally mother the baby, because we had to make use of aesthetic baby. So, and we cannot have that claiming the child is alive. So things like that also alters the story. You know, but at the end of the day, for me, it's character. I tell character driven stories.
Okay, all right, still on the type of stories you tell, your stories explore human vulnerability, you know, in a lot of ways, just like what you said now, you know, what happened to the baby and everything. So would you say that naturally you're just drawn to those kind of stories, to emotional restraint in like storytelling, or how did you start telling stories like this? What inspires you to tell stories that are so strongly character driven or dialogue driven, like you said?
If I'm being very honest, it came from two places. First of all, the need to tell a story that's, like I said, character. I realize that most of the stories we tell does not really focus on character building. And I don't say this in a bad way. It focuses more on the glam, the story, what's happening, boy meets girl, girl does this, and then that happens. And I've been in closed doors with most of our big actors, and they will tell you, our stories are not challenging enough.
Yeah.
I wish I can get a story. And when they get those kind of stories, you can see it's a breath of fresh air. So it came from a place of, oh, I want to tell stories that if an actor picks the script and reads it, the actor will be challenged to do it.
Yes.
And it's also come from a place of, because most of the stories I tell, I get to play the lead role.
Yes.
So I try to create these characters that will also help me challenge myself.
Yeah.
Also help casting directors look and say, oh, this girl, she has range. This girl, she can do this. So, and then it also comes from a place of telling stories that people may not randomly want to tell.
Yes.
Like, who's coming for you? No, if I tell you that story is about maternal mortality, you won't know. But by the time I tell you, oh, this is a story about maternal mortality, like, okay, now
no one that this
connect
happened.
the dots.
Yes, exactly. Yes. What is the difference between producing your work and producing for others? Like, what is the major difference that you say, is there?
Compromise.
Okay.
So when I'm doing my job, I have the creative license to compromise on a lot of things. And when I say compromise, it could be from the way I choose to treat the crew, the cast, which if you're on another person's project, you have to work with a certain timeline.
Yeah.
You have to work with a certain budget. You have to, like, if they say, oh, crew are going to eat twice a day, you have to feed crew twice a day. But I may not want to feed crew 2 times a day because I'm like, okay, I want them to be well fed. I may not want to treat them differently from the cast because this is me.
Yeah.
So when I'm on my project, I have the license to do the things I want to do. I also have the creative license to make changes to the story because now it's my story and I'm producing.
Yeah. Okay. So now, still on the producer thing, I think a lot of people have, come out to say a lot of things that they do, certain, oh, okay, I am a producer today, I am this tomorrow, I am this. But sometimes there have been complaints as well, especially for indie producers and upcomers in the industry and everything. Maybe, oh, you do not have the complete training, or you do not really know what a producer's work is or the role in a set. So in today's industry, what do you think is the right role for a producer? Like, what makes a producer a producer?
Okay, so when it comes to producing, there are levels to producing.
Yeah.
There's executive producing, that's the person that comes with a big box.
Exactly.
And there is the producer who is more like one of the A team. So when we come to the career, what we call the A team. So the A team is the director, the EP, and then the producer. So these are the major decision makers.
Yeah.
So after that producer, there is what we call the line producer. So the line producer is more like the person who is running all the points.
Yeah.
Literally the first person to wake up and the last to go to bed. Then after that, there is also what we call the associate producers. And then the associate producers, it could either be because you're a creative producer.
Yeah.
Maybe you're making some creative contributions. As an associate producer, it could also be that you're in charge of finances or the administrative parts of the project. So these are all producers. So it now depends on the capacity you're hired to be on a project. But as an indie filmmaker, the producer does everything.
Yes.
The only thing the producer may not do is fund it.
Yeah.
Except it's my project. So when it's my project, I'm also
funding,
the EP.
yeah.
But when, like, Loose Cannon, I didn't fund it.
Yeah.
We had an EP, Ebuka, who funded it. But as a producer, an indie producer, you have to do everything from negotiations for cast and crew to budgeting to production timelines. You have to. Even though you have to do some delegations, maybe delegate some things to the production manager or that, but you have to sit on it, from script reading, from casting, everything.
Yeah.
The indie producer does it.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. We're going to go on a very quick break, and when we return, Showtime will continue. Welcome back. This is still Showtime on Trust TV, and I have been in the studio with the talented Nkeoma Umudu. Yes. I'm going to say something at the end of the show, and I'm sure it's going to add to that smile that you have. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so now let us quickly go over to the short film premiering next week, right?
Yeah.
Loose Cannon. So the film is such a solemn film, at least from what I've seen so far. I'd like to know what drew you to this film as both an actor and you were a co-producer.
Yes.
And as a co-producer, what drew you to this film, and tell us a little bit about the film.
Okay, so Loose Cannon is a period piece.
Yeah.
Is a story about the Civil War. It's one of those stories about the Civil War that is out there.
Yeah.
And it's just a story. So what Loose Cannon did is it tried to tell the Biafran story from an entirely different perspective, like we've never seen before, which is from the point of view of a soldier who was part of that battle. So this soldier went to war, lost his family, and at the end still lost the war. So what drew me to Loose Cannon as an actor and as a co-producer was because of that point of view where the story is being told.
Yeah.
You know, everybody keeps talking about, oh, the Biafran War was this, it was that, we lost lives, oh, the Igbos conceded, you know, but nobody really tries to talk about the guys that were in the forefront.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, the trauma they had to live with, you know. So again, I'm drawn to stories like this.
Yes.
And the moment I read the script, I had to tell the director, who was also a co-writer, I said, Ulisa, this is it. I mean, and I'm not going to tell you, I actually shed a tear because, again, like I said, producing, once you're a producer, you have to do a lot of things. So in the capacity of a producer, we had to make research about the look, the mood board and everything. And then again, we had to open this kind of worm where we get to see children that went through suffering during the Civil War. And it just reminds you of that thing that you may not have experienced it, but hearing it makes you a part of that story. It makes you a part of that trauma. So yeah, that was exactly what attracted me to being part of the team that told the story Loose Cannon.
Oh, that is very beautiful. I can already imagine what it will be like, because I understand when I watch war films, I get a certain feel. And watching the trailer of this film, I actually got that feel, and I was like, okay, I cannot wait for the premiere of this short film to actually, you know, come about. But was there a cultural or personal impact in it for you? And then secondly, the visual tone is black and white. And was that just for the trailer?
No,
it's black and white.
Yes.
Okay, so it's black and white, and I saw a lot of Igbo language. You know, it was not the usual, or even though it is a period piece, let us use English so that, you know, it will be well accepted or people will understand it better. But it was Igbo language, and the visual tone, it was plain black and white.
Yes.
How important was that, or why did you decide to make it black and white?
Okay, so we decided to make it black and white because we wanted to mirror in on that is our past, but it's still with us.
Okay.
You know, when people are telling a story, when you're watching a film and you want to go flashback, they go black and white.
Yes.
So we wanted to. That was one of the things that made us say, you know what, let's have that black and white thing, so people are watching it and this thing happened. So it is not just a figment of anime. It actually did happen. Yes. And then the cultural impact in it was, before I get to the cultural impact, that was also something, again, we wanted to create that effect of, oh, the war has ended, but the battle hasn't.
Has not.
Because this guy, the war has ended, and he still has these internal battles he's going through it. So watching it in black and white, it gives you that feeling of, oh, this thing is still with us.
Coming to the characters that you play and write, how do you balance the vulnerability and the strength? Because now, you know, in this type of film, Loose Cannon, of course, the vulnerability is going to be a lot. And then you're co-producing, you co-wrote, and
no,
then
no, I didn't co-write.
Okay, you didn't co-write this
No.
one, but you co-produced,
Yes.
produced,
Yes.
and then you acted as well.
Yeah.
And then in some others, you know, maybe the rom-com that you're talking about, and you know, you do all of that. And you were talking about versatility as well. So I'd like to know how you like balance, you know, the vulnerability and the strength when you write or you're producing and you're acting such a deep character. How do you balance all of that?
So there's something I said to myself one time. I said, I feel like I'm acting in real life and being real in acting.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to jot that down somewhere.
It may not sound real well, but a lot of times when I do the things I feel like I'm not being myself.
Okay.
But when I'm acting, it feels like that is me, that is who I am.
Yeah.
So, and somehow it helps me when I'm acting, because somehow I just becomes that person.
Yeah.
You know, but one of the techniques I do, and this is also to anyone who wants to know how to switch in between roles, is I take some time off. Like, in fact, what does it for me is the moment I put on that costume, it just happens.
You switched. You're a woman in the indie film space, and in as much as we like to not throw in gender there, it is still there. So I'd like to know personally, as a woman in this space, what has been your greatest challenges and what part have you found, you know, the most joy?
Okay, so I know I have heard people talk a lot about gender inequality, gender equality and gender equity in the film space. Personally, I've not experienced anything in that way. Okay. Maybe because well, I'm on the creative side, but I've heard people say, oh, because I'm a female, I can't be a female gaffer, or I can't be a female sound person. That you hear people say, oh, I rather work with guys. I don't want women are divas. You know, I haven't had any personal experience,
like
in fact,
that.
But I know I have been in a team, and I'm the only woman. Maybe a team of 10, and I'm the only woman, and there are 9 men. So it could also mean that they are right, that they rather just work with men. So I haven't had any personal experience, challenges regarding that. But what has been my most joy is, like I said, the fact that I can switch in between those roles and still ace them.
Yes.
It's a huge blessing, and I do not take that for granted.
Thank you so much for being here. I can already see that they will soon, you know, tell us to pack up and leave, but not without my comments. So I know that you said that we are the first TV that you've come in, you know, for an interview.
Yes.
Now I'm going to let you in on something.
Okay.
So you are the first female that I have personally interviewed on the show. Okay. So it's been men. I'm like, what is going on? And then today, yes, I mean, come on. I am so happy about that. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful having you.
Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been Showtime on Trust TV. My name is Chimmeli. Do join us again, same time, same station, for more delightful and insightful conversations.